Nap Hand on the inside, a little bit restless. Nightlife is the first one to strut his stuff as they race through the first furlong. Loyal Touch races in second. Thunderball races in third place with Uncle in fourth. On the running rail is Nap Hand, just ahead of Uncle Matthew. Very similar colours, Uncle Matthew in the yellow saddlecloth number 7, and up on the inside of those is Athena, also in dark colours. Up in front, Nightlife's dropped the bridle, or dropped the anchor in front, and Thunderball, as a result, is right up the leader's backside and not proving easy to settle. And Uncle Matthew, Kieran O'Neill decides he's going to scout out wide and make some ground. So it's Uncle Matthew who moves up on the outside of Nightlife, Loyal Touch on the outer of Thunderball, who hasn't really settled in those first-time blinkers in yellow and blue. Racing on the inside of Uncle, and then in sixth place we have Nap Hand as they make the turn, and Zafina is the back marker. So out in the lead, it is Uncle Matthew striding on now from Loyal Touch and Nightlife racing in second and third. Fourth place belongs to Uncle, who is just ahead of Thunderball, and the last two are Nap Hand, one from the back, and last of all is Zafina. So Uncle Matthew out in the lead, with Loyal Touch being produced to try and challenge, and now pressing the leader, and Loyal Touch moves to Uncle Matthew. Down the outside we have Uncle, and then right down the outside Nap Hand, who is beginning to get going. So Loyal Touch it is who's taken over from Uncle Thunderball, and then towards the outside Nap Hand. But it's Loyal Touch for Daniel Muscutt who has the lead. In second place Nap Hand continues to make ground, but time is running out. There's still a length and a half to find. Nap Hand is beginning a surge now at Loyal Touch as they go for the line. Loyal Touch drifting out into the path of Nap Hand, but it is Loyal Touch who's doing enough, and when joined found plenty to win. Loyal Touch beat Nap Hand. Thunderball was third. In fourth place behind those was Uncle.
A second win in the career of Loyal Touch. It doesn't quite tell the full story of the race though, and I'm very interested to watch it back, Eddie, because Nap Hand has had to come from an unpromising position. Thunderball's run quite well in third. There's a lot of inconclusivities in this from the way that it's run.
Yeah, even the third horse, who was very keen, has managed to finish third. I think not many horses have got the trip in this race, and probably only two, in fact. And the winner was not able to get his own way out in front, but that didn't matter. He responded when he needed to. Well, Nap Hand was tricky, I think, early on. He did surge, as Richard said in commentary, as though he were going to win, but then his run flattened out. He was asked to do a lot from the back of the field, but mostly of his own making. And the winner, although he seems to have edged away from the rail, we see that better on the head-on, was much more straightforward, I think, than Nap Hand. And the third horse, who had been keen, has done well to be third, Thunderball. He seems to have got the trip okay, whereas Uncle petered out near the finish, having looked threatening.
We'll take it from the start. I would like to see the head-on, just to chart the first and second. I'm interested to see how straight Loyal Touch has actually stayed in the closing stages and idling in front and running around a little bit. But at this point, they broke. David Egan tried to drop anchor in front, as Richard noted in commentary. There were some in here who were having none of that, and they wanted a truer test.
I don't really understand the ride by Kieran O'Neill on Uncle Matthew, because he's quite happy to sit at the back, and then presumably because he felt they weren't going fast enough, he's rushed his horse up and taken him to the front, Uncle Matthew, very early on. Now it's kind of, if you're deciding to hold up at the back of the field, I would have thought that rushing the horse up is the last thing you want to do, but he got to the front. I suppose he's then trying to drop anchor. The one who wasn't really troubled by all this was Loyal Touch. It appears that Nightlife, having her second run back after a break and second run on the all-weather, either doesn't like the all-weather or just hasn't trained on since the summer, because she's not running anything like up to her turf form. And Uncle Matthew didn't last very long in the lead, and Loyal Touch was able to take over at the head of the straight and looked as though he might come clear. But Uncle was on the case in the purple colours. Again, he looks like he didn't stay. And the horse on the wide outside, Nap Hand, the favourite, has come with this run, that's a very similar run to his last effort here when he finished second. Looked extremely threatening, but eventually didn't get the job done. It may just be this is the limit of his ability, but here he just thinks he's going to go past. But we will see on the head-on whether he might have just got slightly put off by the favourite, the winner, edging away from the rail. We're not quite sure until we see that head-on. Here is the head-on.
Yeah, we can chart them too. You can see Loyal Touch just on the right-hand side in the middle of shot, and he's going to be asked to go and win his race. Nap Hand on the extreme right, just starting?
He is starting to wander. He wandered under the whip
bit
there, and then comes back again and wanders. As soon as his jockey waves the whip, he wanders away from it. He doesn't even need to use it. Now he uses it and he properly hangs towards the runner-up twice, but they didn't make contact. It was a bit of intimidation. You couldn't say it was enough to make a difference to the result.
No, that was interesting to see. In terms of what this means for going forward, I'm not sure we learnt a massive amount, just on the face of it, because there are horses who came in with question marks about whether they stay.
Yeah.
Some of them have been answered, others not really. Loyal Touch was expected to find this trip fine, so is Naphand, and they've come to the fore.
Yeah, Loyal Touch at least looks as though he's got a bit of scope to go on. Naphand's quite a lot smaller than him, as you can see from those pictures. And he's come back in good form. His first run on the all-weather. He's wandered around, and once he learns to what the game is about a little bit more, and he runs straight when he's under pressure, he's going to be a better horse. So if you were going to take a horse out of the race to make a bit of progress, I'd say he was the one. Alan King in the background, getting the rundown on the runner-ups efforts.
Well, Angus, the nursery debut from Loyal Touch was a bit tepid at the Western meeting, but in these slightly calmer waters, he's been able to take full advantage, and he's back to winning ways.
Yeah, he was 9-5 favourite, Anthony. Naphand was 2-1 in second place, 7 ran. It was a steadily run affair. 12.29, 12.29, 12.58, 12.29, turned to a bit of a sprint. Thereafter, it paid to be handy, as Loyal Touch was. Times 1:40.65, 3.75 outside standard. Furlong per furlong. Best time of the day is the Azure Angel, who displayed that really good turn of foot and fired the fastest furlong of the day so far, an 11.52 for the penultimate furlong in the 3:45.